Our next inductee started what's called happiness clubs, and now there are 70 happiness clubs all around the world. He's an incredibly warm and loving man, and he's done radio shows, television programs. He's a great guy. Please welcome Mr. Lionel Ketchian.
Good evening. A number of winters ago, I decided to try my hand at feeding birds in my backyard in Connecticut, where I live. I put some crushed walnuts in my right hand and extended it, and I stood absolutely motionless and completely quiet on a cold winter's day. In a few minutes, a cute, tiny bird landed in my hand. It was a black-capped chickadee. It flew onto the tip of my fingers, picked up a piece of walnut and flew off to enjoy it. Soon it returned to land on my hand again. This time it picked up a piece of walnut and dropped it on the ground. Then it picked up another and dropped that. It finally selected a third piece, which must have been just right, and flew off with it. It trusted me enough to take its time and make sure it had a nice piece. I remembered a quote about a butterfly and happiness by Nathaniel Hawthorne. He said, "Happiness is a butterfly which pursuit is always just beyond your grasp, but which, if you will sit down quietly, may alight upon you." I'd read a book called Hand Feeding Backyard Birds. My kids had given it to me, and I thought that I would never be able to do it. I believed the odds were against me. Being happy is similar. You may think you can't be happy. If you learn to value happiness and practice it, you can and you will be happy, especially when you realize others have done it. Experts didn't believe it's possible to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute barrier and set a new world record for the mile in 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds on a track in Oxford, England on May 6, 1954. His record was broken in only 46 days. And that was after years of setting that record, because Bannister broke the belief barrier. On December 24th, 1990, at around 5 o'clock, I realized I was happy. I made the decision to stay happy and realize the value of being happy. I've shared the tools of awareness with the happiness clubs and everyone I can. An emotional barrier was also broken by Dr. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. He said everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And there were always choices to make. Every day, every hour offered the opportunity to make a decision which determined whether you would or would not submit to those powers which threatened to rob you of your very self, your inner freedom. How can you be happy? By realizing happiness is a decision and choose to be happy. You can be happy by not allowing a situation or a person to make you unhappy. Don't give up your happiness, because happiness is what you want more than anything else. Why is happiness so important? Happiness is an issue of power. When you allow people or circumstances to make you unhappy, you lose your power. You're giving your power away. Take your power back. What if something bad happens? Happiness is an excellent strategy for dealing with negative situations to gain access to your emotional intelligence. In times of difficulty, you need to control your thinking. Don't allow negative thinking to control you. You become unhappy as a result of your thinking, not as a result of what has happened. Your reaction to the event is caused by the way you think, not the event itself. How can I make happiness work for me? The decision to be happy allows you to find out when you're off track. Here's a mindfulness technique that will get you back on the right track again. As soon as you realize that you're unhappy, become aware of that, and realize you're in control of changing your thoughts and choose happiness. Yes, it sounds simple and easy, but it's profoundly powerful. When you have a problem and you're unhappy about it, you've created a second problem. Think of your problem as the gasoline and your unhappiness as the match. Your unhappiness covers the problem so you can't even see it. You only see your unhappiness. Deal with your unhappiness and you've gotten rid of half your problems. Now, with a clean, clear, happy mind, you can find the best solutions to the problems you're facing. What if there's no solution to my problem, you ask? No solution, then no problem. You have something you don't like and can't change it. This is the case where you're the problem. You'll remain unhappy unless and until you change your attitude. Do I have to live with what I don't like? If you can change it, change it. What you resist will persist. If you can't change it, learn to love it, or it will make you unhappy. I've found it impossible to be unhappy. When you let go of your judgments, focus on your gratitude, release yourself through forgiveness, learn the wisdom of acceptance, exercise the power of living in the present, and embrace the love experienced from connecting with others, happiness is an inside job that can free you from external situations. Happiness is a spiritual path that empowers you. Being right feeds your ego. Being happy feeds your soul. Life is hard. Why make it harder? Happiness is a gift if you decide to give it. Thanks, Mike. You're the best. I love you. And I love you all.